from this time and place to friend and foe alike that the torch has been passed to a new
The historical significance behind John F. Kennedy's desk has inspired 2 Lafayette alumni to give back to our community. Tom Feehan, class of 1979, had acquired the desk and has graciously donated it to the Policy Studies program. Matthew Weiss, class of 2007, traced the history of the desk's ownership and corroborated its historical prominence.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Romney, class of 2008. I'm a double major in government and law and French, and today I joined Tom Feehan, class of 1979, to talk about an important part of history. Here we go to an interview with Tom outside of the Raymer History House. Now, Tom, what is the story behind how you acquired a desk used by President Kennedy?
The desk was originally acquired by a Washington, D.C. businessman named Joseph Bruno. My mother-in-law, Jeannie Brickerd, worked for Mr. Bruno. When Mr. Bruno purchased the desk from the Democratic National Committee when they were selling the furniture that was used by the Kennedy campaign, which had been housed at the Democratic National Committee headquarters. When Mr. Bruno closed his business, my mother-in-law had opened a business and she acquired the desk from Mr. Bruno and used it in her business. When she subsequently passed away, my wife Cecilia and I acquired the desk.
Okay. Did you ever use the desk in your home or just primarily your office?
Primarily in my office. I used it for the time that I ran my business up until we sold it. The desk itself has a massive desktop, and it was much too big to fit in the office we had in our home.
Now, what is the significance of the desk to you personally?
Well, to me personally, John F. Kennedy is the first president I remember in my lifetime. When I was 4 years old, he visited my hometown, and I can recall the townspeople going out to wave to the motorcade as he came through town. I remember the classroom I was sitting in when he was assassinated as a youngster. So to know that I had access to a piece of history that was connected to President Kennedy was very meaningful.
What inspired you to give the desk to Lafayette and specifically to the Policy Studies program? Why now?
I've always had a close connection to Lafayette College, and I wanted to authenticate the history of the desk. And I had met Dr. Crane through a fellow alumnus and approached him with the idea of researching and authenticating the history of the desk and involving a Lafayette student. And he was very enthused and energetic about the idea. And the fact that the Policy Studies program, to me, is a confluence of history, government, and leadership, and the desk itself is a piece of history with relations to government and leadership. I thought it was a great fit. Also, the fact that it's housed in the Raymer History House, which is where I lived when I was at Lafayette College, made it special to me.
And what kind of impact do you hope that the desk has on Lafayette students and on the Lafayette community as a whole?
Well, I hope the desk would inspire conversation and inspire interest in that era. It would give people the opportunity to touch a piece of history, which was an opportunity I had. I was able to sit at that desk and think about what President Kennedy might have been doing when he sat at the desk, and hopefully it would inspire that kind of feeling in other people.
So Matthew, I understand that this summer you traced the history of the desk's ownership at the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library and Museum in Boston. What particularly appealed to you about this project?
It was the chance to kind of have do a project that was significant not only to the owner of a desk but also to the school. It was an opportunity, I felt, to give back to Lafayette as well and help something even after I'd graduated.
As a Lafayette alumnus, how would you like your work to influence future students and others in the Lafayette community? And do you plan to continue your involvement in the Policy Studies program?
I hope that the desk is an inspirational piece for people to use while they're on campus. I also like people to understand that once you graduate from Lafayette, that doesn't mean necessarily your involvement with Lafayette is over. I would definitely continue to be a part of the Policy Studies program.
The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it. And the glow from that fire can truly light the world.